As the Milwaukee Bucks entered this NBA season, it felt as though the team that had once been NBA champions, that had once been consistent contenders, led by a generational kind of guy in Giannis Antetokoumpo, it felt like that team was gone. The Damian Lillard experiment never quite worked out, and since then, you look at the roster now, with the absence of Lillard, the talent level has seemingly declined, and it just didn't feel like they had what it took to compete with the rest of the East, or especially if they somehow made it to the finals, the Western Conference. Now, when you're led by someone like Giannis, you might be the sixth seed at bare minimum, but it didn't feel like the ceiling of this team was all too high. But to begin this NBA season, they are 4-2 at the time of recording. They are third in the East, and they look really good. And all of a sudden, all those questions about their talent and these projections of them being subpar relative to the rest of the teams in the association seems a little bit as though we were overreacting. You think over to the Seattle Seahawks in the NFL, that's a team that on paper, the talent just did not seem to be there for that roster. And yet, in spite of that, they are playing some incredible ball right now. Shout out Sam Darnold, shout out JSN. But I don't think that's quite the case. I think this team, I think we made the right observations when we look at their talent level and we say that it's just not quite on par with the best in the East or the West. However, their talent might not be the same, but they fit very well around each other. And this team is really showing to me the importance of roster construction in the modern NBA. Let's think about the league right now. There is so much talent on any given team, especially as you get further down the rotation. You see, you've always had your guys who are going to be the mainstay starters, your guys who are going to be the elite starters, the franchise cornerstones. Those have always been around. But as you dig further and further into a rotation, you see more and more guys who can contribute, at least in one given area, because they have spent their whole lives training. They might be shooters because they spent their whole lives trying to be shooters, for example. There's just so much talent and parity in the league, you never quite know. But with that, I don't believe that you can win purely by talent alone, because any given team has a good amount of talent to them nowadays. Now, if it is just overwhelming, sure, but that is becoming less and less a reality as more and more of the league becomes talented to a level of which we have never seen before. So you can't win in the modern league, in my opinion, on simply talent alone. In the Milwaukee Bucks, they realized this. Damian Lillard, that didn't work out. That was a boost to your talent, but the fit wasn't quite there. It looked like a good fit on paper between him and Giannis. The shooter and the finisher, the subpar defensive guard in the DPOY level Giannis Antetokoumpo, the point guard and the big man. It seemed like a good fit on paper, but it never quite worked out because Lillard was just a little bit too much of an on-ball kind of guy. And Giannis is very much a point forward. 7.2 assists per game this year so far. That is a point forward and one of the best examples you're going to see. So, in my opinion, I think that just didn't quite work out in spite of what seemed like a good fit on paper because Lillard just needed the ball a little bit too much. And so they never quite got that chemistry to the level that they could have. And that's not a knock on Lillard. It's just saying that those two weren't perfect complements to each other. But now, with the loss of Lillard, that is a hit to your talent level. But look at the guys they got now. AJ Green, Cole Anthony, Gary Trent Jr., Ryan Rollins. These are guys who, yes, talent-wise, they don't make up what Lillard, all NBA 75 team member, brings to the table. But what they do provide is a better fit next to Giannis. You see, these guys are shooters. They are floor spacers as well, but the difference is they don't demand the ball quite as much. And in turn, Giannis can be comfortable still being the offensive hub for this team. And with that, being able to kick it out to shooters. You see, when you got Damian Lillard on the team, Giannis has had the same opportunity to kick it out to Lillard because Lillard, he's already got the ball in his hands. But now Giannis has the ability to be the point forward full time almost and then get it out to his guys when otherwise there were times where he simply took Giannis out of the play and it was just simply a Damian Lillard possession. So that has been the difference this year for them. And then you get beyond the guards, beyond the backcourt, to somebody such as Myles Turner. And this is a guy who I've spoken about this for a while now. The idea of Myles Turner is incredible. And in reality, hasn't always been the case, but this is somebody who is a very much so spacing centric big man, somebody that is going to take a lot of threes. And because of that volume, you almost think his efficiency is higher than it is. His efficiency has never been great from beyond the arc, but it's solid enough for a big. But the thing is now with Myles Turner is I think the idea of him is starting to become more reality in this offense. Because the idea of Myles Turner fits very well alongside Giannis. This is somebody who, as a big man, is not going to take up too much space in the post. Is going to instead allow somebody like Giannis to drive to the rim and finish in the paint, as opposed to being a barrier for him. Look at the Minnesota Timberwolves a couple years ago, back when they first made the move for Gobert, and early on in that season, Anthony Edwards just simply could not get to the rim because Gobert was always in the paint there. He didn't really move outside of that area. But Myles Turner, instead, he's somebody who's very comfortable from beyond the arc on the outside. And so I think that allows him to be at that center spot a very good complement to Giannis Antetokoumpo. And overall, that's who you want to compliment. This is your superstar. This is your franchise cornerstone. This is a guy that's going to take you places. And right now, the reason for the Bucks' success is not the talent that they have. You look at the rest of the league, everybody has talent. And really, compared to them, the Bucks, they aren't simply outstanding in that regard. They have Giannis, who is a top 3 player in the league, almost no matter who you ask. But outside of that, there's not another All NBA player. There's not another All Star on the squad. But what they do have is a group of guys who know their role and fit very well alongside Giannis at that point forward spot. As someone who likes to drive to the rim, this team fits perfectly around him, and that has been key to their early success. How far can this team go? Only time will tell. But right now, things are looking a lot more optimistic for them. This is a team that I had projected to be a playoff team, but right now, with the way that they're playing in the Eastern Conference, as wide open as it is, with something like the Tatum injury and the Tyrese Halliburton injury, if the Milwaukee Bucks can keep this play at a sustainable rate, they might just have a chance to surprise all of us.